stay. It's been a couple of days since I did a vlog. I've got quite a bit I want to relay to everybody on here. First of all, hi Mom. I know scary things are going on right now, but it's going to be fine. Just trust me on this one. Yesterday was church. We had a guest pastor because our pastor was marrying his granddaughter and granddaughter's fiance down in Texas, and I got a text from him. Everything went well. I don't have a charger for this phone in here, I don't think. Nope. Anyway, well, let's see what this one is. Nope. Saturday, I was just too busy. I'm extremely busy these days. I keep saying Just got back from Ada. It's after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I had to take Linda over to get a CAT scan, her last one hopefully. It comes back clean. She'll have been cancer-free for 5 years. And that means that she doesn't have to see Dr. Bonavalli again except for the visit in January. Dr. Bonavalli is her oncologist. Really pretty girl, really smart. Anyway, we took her pickup. My van jerks when you go out of first into second. Sometimes out of second into third. But we went to the hospital. She went back to imaging, and then I had to leave. She had to push me in one of those guest wheelchairs where an attendant pushes you. I blew my knee out day before yesterday. It's still really tender, and I got a bad cramp in my right calf coming out of Blue Moon Cafe. I'll get to all that later, but anyway, we went into the hospital, and I was in the imaging waiting room with her, and they got their TVs on, and it's low, it's not loud, but something in that television is just at the right frequency and volume. It really made my left ear hurt. My left ear's the one I can hear out of good. Now I've got a synthetic jaw over here, but the left one's my good ear, and it was making my ear and my jaw hurt. And then when we left the room, it quit doing that. So I don't really know what that's all about. So I went to the main waiting room in the front of the hospital where you come in, and I'm sitting there, and there's these two women with the same last name. I'll get to that in a minute. I'm sitting there, and so I call my best friend Jerry, see how he's doing, and he told me he was eating a fried pie for lunch, and this one woman sitting to my left perked up and did one of these eye things like that, and and I said, well, what are y'all up to today? And he said, well, I'm going to do a few hand ads, and then I don't know what we're doing. And I said, Matt there with you? Yeah, Matt and Diane both are there. And I said, you and your wife need to get away. And he said, yeah, you do too. And I said, well, about the only time Linda and I can get away is when I've got to take her to a doctor, which is about true. But anyway, we quit talking and I hung up. And then I had another person calling me on the phone that I won't go into that. I answered that one, then I hung up. And this one lady sitting there, and she said, we have fried pies here too in Ada. And she was talking about at the Boomerang restaurant, diner. And I said, the Arbuckle Mountain fried pies are a lot better. I've never tried those. And I said, well, y'all have a store over here. We had a conversation and she was real nervous. I don't think I was making her nervous, but she had to go in and get tested. They were going to see if she had cancer. And she was 82 years old. I won't say her last name. First name was Mary. And I said, are you afraid? And she said, yes. I said, there's nothing to be afraid of. And I asked her, I said, do you know where you're going when you die? Well, I've been praying to the saints, and I said, listen, the only person you need to pray to is God. And a saint cannot get you into heaven. I found out she was Catholic. And I explained to her that the only way you can get into heaven is through Jesus Christ. Only in the Greek it's Yeshua ben Miriam, ben Ming, from Mary. Joshua, son of Mary. But he goes by Jesus Christ in the Bible. And I said, Mary, the Bible was not written in Latin. It was written in Greek, Hebrew, and Aramaic. And I said, the Catholic Bible is was written in Latin, but it's not, you know. And I had a long talk with her, and she finally comprehended and accepted Yeshua ben Miriam, Jesus Christ, as her personal Savior. I don't know what, and I'm not denigrating Catholics, because I know a lot of Catholics that are quote unquote saved, and I know a lot of Catholics that are really good people. You know, but evidently the priest that she'd been speaking with over her life, over her later life, more than anything got her greatly confused. You know, that's real sad. But anyway, I think I helped straighten her mind out on some stuff, and I helped alleviate some of her fears. And I relayed the story of my wife. I said, you know, 5 years ago, my wife was diagnosed with stage 4 appendix cancer. And I said, they gutted her like a fish. They took out a whole bunch of stuff. She went on chemo for a while. And she's just fine. And then I told her my own personal story. I've had cancer 6 times, and I'm beating it right now. I'll just be blunt about it. Cancer is nothing to be afraid of. It's just part of life, folks. Dying is part of life, because you really just go forward. A lot of people can't comprehend that. My son must have put water in my water jugs out of the water hose. It tastes like rubber. That's okay. I grew up drinking out of a water hose. You know, my younger brother makes a point, the opposite of love isn't hate. The opposite of love is fear. That's his opinion, it's kind of mine too. don't be afraid. God's large and in charge. He is in control of everything. Everything. He has a plan for you. He's your Father. Study His Word and learn. And I showed her, I don't have it with me. Yeah, I do. I showed her my Bible that's in my phone, Old and New Testament, and it's the King James Version, and that, to her way of thinking, is heresy. And I said, no, it's not. But I said the Old Testament is from the Jewish records, and the New Testament's got several different records. I just happen to believe the King James Version is the most correctly translated. And we had a talk to the point that she teared up, I teared up, I made her day, and it made my day. But my point of letting you all know this, just because someone's on up in years, don't ever think that they're automatically a Christian and are like a rock in their beliefs, because she wasn't. She's not. I think she's going to get there. I gave her the name and number of my pastor. Whether she'll contact him or not, I don't know. She wouldn't give me her phone number, but she was sitting there playing games on her cell phone. As a matter of fact, about 10 people in that waiting room, everybody was doing this. Playing games on her cell phone or looking at stuff. But I had an interesting day. We went to lunch at Blue Moon Cafe because Linda hadn't eaten, and I had a all beef smoked sausage for breakfast with salsa and some of this on it. That's supposed to be horseradish, and it's called Engelbotter, thick and creamy horseradish sauce. I made the comment to my wife, you could put that stuff in baby food. Absolutely, had great flavor, no heat. She told me I burned my taste buds out, which, man, real wasabi, the stuff I've eaten lately, is killer, but I love it. Anyway, that was my adventure at the hospital with this older lady, and I say older, she is frail, you know. But I had a pleasant visit with her. Then we went to Blue Moon and ate lunch. Linda brought some of hers home. She did have a piece of cheesecake that you probably should have had a knife to cut the crust with. Oh, she had a hard time getting through the crust. It was a graham cracker crust, but she had a hard time. Excuse me. She had a hard time getting through it with a fork. And then we drove home. I got to let my son Nick know that I'll pick Brandon up from work tonight. I've got to take him to Walmart tomorrow because he's going to be going to work there. He has orientation tomorrow afternoon. And then next week I'll have to be getting him to work by 9 in the morning. which is going to be a little hard on me, but that's okay. I'm up for it. Now about Israel. Yeah, a lot of warfare going on over there. Hamas basically bombed the doodah out of Israel, they have slaughtered women, children, and the elderly just out of hand. It's a bloodbath. And I don't want to hear anybody telling me that the Israelis provoked it. You know, let me give you something to think about. I do know what I'm talking about. Every Middle Eastern country over there, the smallest Middle Eastern country over there is 644 times larger than Israel, the country of Israel. They're 1/644th the size of all those other countries. And I listened to a talking head say that Egypt is our ally and that they're not trying to eradicate Israel. Let me tell you something. Saudi Arabia, Libya, Syria, Pakistan, every one of those Arabic Muslim countries want Israel dead. Every one of them. They want Israel wiped off the face of the earth. They don't want there to be an Israel. And I had a friend get a hold of me on text earlier. Well, you know, the Palestinians, let me explain something to you. There never has in the history of the world been a country named Palestine. There hasn't been. Do a little bit of research and figure that out. Yasser Arafat came up with the Palestinian Liberation Organization, PLO. He made up Palestine, I think, in 1962, 1963, something like that. It never existed before then. I do know whereof I speak. Do I think Israel's blameless? Oh, shoot, no. Not at all. But they do have a right to exist. They've given away more land than they ever acquired, and they don't have the property that was ceded to them by the World Council in 1948. Because, and I've got friends that are ignorant, absolutely ignorant, that absolutely state that that Hitler never killed any Jews. That is crap. 6 million is a very small number of the human beings that the Third Reich murdered. It goes way beyond that. They were almost made extinct, and people of the Jewish faith are still flocking into the country of Israel. You know, and here's something that is going to blow a lot of people's minds. The Israeli ruling council have not expelled people from the country of Israel or from the capital city of Jerusalem just because they're Muslim. They allow them to live there. That is, you know, if they're so oppressive, why are they doing that? But you go to the Gaza Strip, which is in the southeast corner of the nation of Israel, and there are Jews that live there that have been rounded up murdered, and they're trying to exterminate all Israelis from that section of land on the coast there. The fight, I'm going to tell you right now, I think that Hamas needs to be completely obliterated. They need to be exterminated. And you don't need to place sanctions on Iran. They need to be invaded by the good old United States of America and those Ayatollahs removed. I'm going to tell you a little bit of something that even my family do not know. I used to be friends when I was a much younger man with a couple named Farouk and Akram. Okay. Their last name was Pahlavi. Yes, they were the nephew and his wife of Reza Pahlavi, the Shah of Iran. I won't argue with people. I know that Reza Pahlavi was corrupt. I know that. But I also know that women were treated much better when he was the Shah than they are now in Iran. You still have honor murders in Iran, regardless of what anybody would claim. That's where a family member accuses a young woman of being immoral and they stone her to death, or they behead her, or they throw acid in her face. The leadership, oh man, I thought I'd get through this. I thought I'd turn that off. Somebody's trying to invade my computer. The leadership in Iran is not wicked, not just corrupt, they're evil. I just want you to know that. Now I'm going to get off my soapbox. I've got to finish this up and go in the house. Today my wife and I had some time for us. We went and had a good meal, did some traveling together, some visiting together, and I want more of it. Now, just so you know, I love you. Ugly and torn up and crippled as I am, I love you, those of you watching this. You need to thank God for your blessings, because you are blessed every day. And like the sign right there says, be kind. Always be kind. Bye.